I require a new vehicle. Will you cosign? My sister messaged me. I shot back. In your dreams. Moments later, my dad responded in all caps. Say no, and you're excluded from family gatherings. That evening, I contacted the bank and terminated our joint credit line. By 7:30 a.m. the next day, my phone showed 36 missed calls. It was an ordinary Thursday, nothing remarkable. I was at my desk sorting through invoices when my phone vibrated with that long, ominous buzz that usually signals trouble. It was my sister again. I need a new car. You'll cosign. No pleasantries, no question, just a blunt demand, as if I owed her something. For context, I'm Lucas, 32, working in logistics. I own my home, pay my bills promptly, and everything I have, I've earned through hard work. My sister, Hannah, is 28, drifting in and out of my parents' house, cycling through 6 jobs in 3 years, and spending money like it's air. Yet, because she's loud, theatrical, and skilled at public meltdowns, she's always painted as the victim. Always. I stared at her text, chuckled, and replied, "Keep dreaming." I didn't expect her to respond directly, but I knew she'd run to our parents. Sure enough, 10 minutes later, my dad sent a message in all caps, "Refuse, and you're out of family events. No, let's discuss this, or can we work it out?" Just a threat. For most, that might hurt. For me, it was the final nudge I didn't realize I needed. I got up, poured myself a coffee in the kitchen, and called the bank. There was a joint credit line with my parents, something I'd begrudgingly agreed to open during a guilt-laden Thanksgiving dinner a couple of years ago, where everyone implied I was the reliable one who should step up. Hannah had already maxed it out once, splurging on a fancy espresso machine and a $1,200 coat for job interviews. The bank confirmed I could close it immediately. Without hesitation, I signed the digital forms, finalized the closure, and had the termination notice emailed to me. The next morning, I woke to 36 missed calls, 12 from Hannah, 9 from my dad, 8 from my mom, and the rest from cousins and an aunt who just wanted to check in. I ignored them all, letting the phone ring out. But here's what they wouldn't admit. This wasn't about a car. It was about control. For years, I'd been treated like a resource. The dependable one, the level-headed one, the one who never pushed back. They thought I'd fold, like always. Not this time. Want some backstory? 3 years ago, Hannah slashed 2 of my tires because I wouldn't lend her my car for a music festival. She didn't even deny it. She posted a photo of my flat tires on her Instagram story, with laughing emojis. My parents called me dramatic when I demanded they make her pay for it. They didn't even ask her to apologize. The real breaking point came last Christmas at my parents' house. They'd begged me to come after I'd initially declined. Halfway through dessert, Hannah launched into one of her tantrums, whining about how I never backed her dreams. She started yelling. I told her to cool it. She threw her drink in my face. I stood, walked to the kitchen, grabbed scissors from the counter, returned, and snipped off a chunk of the hair she'd obsessed over for years. The room went silent. She shrieked like she'd been stabbed. My mom cried. My dad stood there mute. Me? I felt calm for the first time in years. They kicked me out, saying I'd crossed a line, after she threw wine in my face. But I was the one who went too far. Fast forward to now. Hannah wrecked the car I gave her, one of my 2 cars. I'd handed over the older one because she was jobless, and my parents were struggling. Not a single thank you, just complaints about the AC and Bluetooth. She crashed it while texting and driving, then blamed the brakes instead of owning up. Now she wanted me to co-sign for a brand new car. When I refused, I got threats. That was the last straw. They didn't know I wasn't just saying no. I was planning a calculated, deliberate comeback. First, I closed the credit line. The next move? They never saw it coming. The silence after I shut down the credit line was short-lived. By noon, the family group chat was blowing up. My mom texted, "Lucas, we need to talk now. This isn't you." I didn't just leave the conversation. I left the chat entirely. That afternoon, I called a towing company to retrieve the 2014 Camry I'd lent Hannah. I'd never officially transferred the title, keeping it as my safeguard. I'd paid for that car, insured it under my name, and she was supposed to use it temporarily until she got back on her feet. 18 months later, she was still getting back on her feet. They towed it from my parents' driveway, where she'd parked it while claiming she was saving for something better, apparently meaning a Tesla she wanted me to co-sign for. When she saw the empty driveway, she called me. I didn't pick up. Instead, I sent her a photo of the car back in my garage. Then I turned off my phone for the day. That night, my cousin Jake texted from his work number. He's one of the few who sees things clearly. She's been losing it all day. Yelled at your mom. Your dad called me to talk sense into you. I told him maybe it's time someone put Hannah in check. For the first time in years, I felt like someone in the family understood. The next morning, I found a note on my windshield. Petty. Grow up. Hannah's handwriting, unmistakable. Ironic, considering she once dumped soda on my laundry because I snapped at her for stealing my laptop charger. I knew what was coming next, the manipulation phase. When her tantrums and threats failed, she always played the sympathy card. 2 days later, my mom called. I answered, mostly curious. She said Hannah was having a breakdown, and I needed to be the bigger person. I asked if she remembered the tire incident, the hair, the dinner she begged me to attend only to throw me out. Mom went quiet, then said something I'll never forget. You know how she is, but she's family. I responded calmly, so am I, and hung up. That Sunday, a younger cousin had a birthday party. I wasn't invited. Jake sent a photo from it. Hannah was there, telling everyone I'd stolen her car, conveniently omitting that I'd paid for everything. Insurance, maintenance, registration. Months earlier, I'd warned her that if she didn't start pitching in, even just for gas, I'd take it back. I wasn't surprised, but I was shocked when Aunt Valerie called her out in front of everyone. Why don't you have your own car by now? Hannah's face, Jake said, could have shattered stone. The family was fracturing, lines forming, and I wasn't done yet. If they wanted to play dirty, I was ready to dig deeper. A week after I reclaimed the Camry, things went eerily quiet. No texts, no voicemails, not even Hannah's usual passive-aggressive memes forwarded through my mom's Facebook. In our family, silence doesn't mean peace, it means someone's plotting. Jake tipped me off. Hannah was spreading a new story, claiming I'd emotionally abused her for years, acting superior and never supporting her. She was rewriting our history like a cheap drama script, casting herself as the misunderstood underdog trying to please a cold, unsupportive brother. Funny, because I still had receipts from when I paid off her credit card debt to protect our parents' credit after she opened an account in my dad's name. She was building a narrative to isolate me. But some family members were already reaching out, fed up with her too. Uncle Dennis called one night, whispering from his garage like he was in a spy movie. She's gotten worse. Your dad brought up the car, and she started crying before he finished. You did what you had to. That's when I decided to hit harder. To show her and everyone what happens when you push someone with nothing left to lose. I contacted a local auto auction I knew through work. The Camry sold in 2 days, cash clean, no trace. Hannah would never see it again. I texted her a photo of the car being loaded onto a truck. Sold. No need to be embarrassed by my car anymore. No response. 3 days later, Jake sent a screenshot of Hannah's Instagram story. A high school throwback of her flipping her long chestnut hair at the beach. Caption. It always grows back stronger just like me. She was dragging up the haircut again. They never let it go. Hannah, my parents, even my grandma. They acted like I'd snapped out of nowhere, like I'd gone rogue with scissors at dinner. They forgot she threw a glass of wine in my face first. Screamed I was a control freak who'd never be loved because I was too cold. I stood there, dripping red wine, with no one defending me. I walked to the kitchen, grabbed the scissors, and cut 6 inches off her precious hair. The snip echoed in 10 seconds of silence. That was my revenge then, and it worked. Hannah didn't speak to me for months. The peace was heavenly. But my parents, who'd invited me, kicked me out that night. Now history was repeating. She pushed, I pushed back harder. Then came her message at 2:15 a.m. You'll regret this. The last time she said that, my tires were slashed. This time I was ready. I checked my security cameras, clear. But I knew her. This wasn't over. She and my parents still had keys to my house. That was about to change. I didn't sleep easily, not paranoid but prepared. After her threat, I took the morning off and went to the hardware store. New locks, reinforced deadbolts, smart cameras for the backyard. I paid extra for a locksmith to install everything that afternoon. By 3 p.m., every lock was changed. It felt like closing a chapter of my life. But I wasn't finished. That evening, I found an envelope in my mailbox. No stamp, my name in neat handwriting, not Hannah's. I opened it, expecting a dramatic plea from my mom. Instead, it was a copy of a letter Hannah wrote to our parents, confessing her plan. The text, the meltdown, ghosting me once she got the car. He's soft. Acts tough, but he wants to be liked. He'll give in. He always does. At the bottom in Jake's handwriting. You didn't get this from me. I'm done watching you take the blame. Any lingering guilt evaporated. That night, my mom left a voicemail about an intervention for Hannah. I nearly laughed. Then I remembered the spare key in the fake rock. It was gone. Security footage showed my dad sneaking up at 2:48 a.m. to take it. The next day, I installed an alarm system, changed the Wi-Fi, and started planning. The family barbecue at Uncle Rick's was the perfect stage. I wasn't invited, but he let me come with a warning. No drama. I lied, showed up late, sunglasses on, grabbed a soda, and sat like I belonged. Hannah glared. 10 minutes in, with music playing and everyone pretending things were fine, I made my move. I pulled a Bluetooth speaker from my backpack, cut the music, and let my voice fill the yard, reading Hannah's letter verbatim. He's soft. Acts tough, but he wants to be liked. He'll give in. The yard fell silent. Confusion, stares, Jake meeting my eyes. The recording played on, every smug detail exposed. When it finished, I stood, turned off the speaker, and left. No one spoke. My mom asked if it was fake. My dad started to speak, then stopped. Hannah walked inside and left minutes later without a word. The party collapsed. Jake handed me a beer. Didn't expect a speech. I shrugged. Sometimes people need to hear themselves. That night, a text from an unknown number. You win this time. No name, but I knew. Days later, my camera caught someone trying my front door at 1:17 a.m., holding a grocery bag. Hours after, my dad texted. I don't want to be in the middle, but she's your sister. I didn't reply. The next morning, I upgraded everything, locks, codes, alarms. Then I sent a group text. No one enters my property. Any keys you have are useless. This isn't up for debate. Jake replied instantly, finally. Uncle Dennis sent a thumbs-up emoji, his first ever. My parents and Hannah stayed silent. Only my grandma wrote, I don't get it all, but I trust you. That one hit deep. Months passed, no calls, no visits, no drama. Jake said Hannah failed 2 credit checks before buying a beat-up hatchback she named Karma. I deleted the photo. I wasn't angry anymore. The locks were changed, the door shut, and for once it was quiet, the good kind.